Hello guys, welcome to Barcelona. My name is Alejandro Tesch. I am from HPE, from the Helio and OpenStack professional services team based in Melbourne, Australia. And today we're going to talk about data cloning as a service. So I have a pretty cool demo that I was told I need to run within 10 minutes, which I think is going to be just nice, hopefully. So just to set the stage first, let me explain what we're going to do. In this particular cloud, which I am actually running on this computer, we are going to have two separate tenants. We're going to have a developer tenant, which is the one that we can see on the right side. And this developer tenant is pretty much empty. There are no instances, no volumes. There is nothing running on it. And on the left side, we have actually our production, our 24/7 Oracle database running with two load balancers on front. And this is actually the same use case that we run 6 months ago in Austin, in which pretty much we standard the infrastructure using the amphoras for the load balancers and bypassing some of the restrictions that we have with Monasca and Heat. We are not going to cover that. So for today, what I will do is we already have the production environment ready. I will quickly log in into development just to show that I don't have anything under my sleeves. There are no VMs running on this side. I don't see any instances. There are no volumes either. All right. So what I will do is let me quickly get out from here, log into our production tenant, and just give you a quick background on what we have running here at the moment. There are 3 different instances. We have 2 web servers, which are fronted by an amphora, which is serving as the load balancer, and we have our database server. In this particular case, is running Oracle. All right, so what I will do is, using a single script that is calling some Ansible playbooks, basically I'm going to put this database in backup mode, and we're going to take a snapshot. Later I will walk you through all the steps that are going to happen during the demo. But just to make it a bit more interesting, let me log into the database. Okay, Oracle should be running. Let's check the status of the instance. The instance is actually open, and what I will do is I'm going to run a query that is going to keep running in the background while we start the cloning. So this way we can actually demonstrate that the database was always up and running with no downtime. All right, so I'm going to start the query, and while we do that, I'm going to get this particular shell that we have here. I think you can see it properly, and I am going to call my, oops, sorry, connect again. I'm going to call my clone script, all right, and get this process started. All right. So the first thing that is going to happen when we try to clone the database is we need to do what we call quiets in the database. By the way, are there any DBAs in the audience? Someone familiar with Oracle and databases in general? So pretty much quiets in the database is to ensure consistency. We are not bringing the database down. As we can see, the query is continuously running on the background. What I am doing is just making sure that we guarantee consistency by the time that we take the snapshot. Okay, so right now, basically the script is connecting into our production database, making sure it's placed on backup mode. And then right after this, what's going to happen is we're going to take a cinder snapshot. All of this is fully automated. So let's do something, because since the whole demo is running on my notebook, it's going to pretty much slow down the hard drive while we run the queries and try to do all the cinder snapshots. So as long as the snapshot is created, which just happened, and the database got placed in end backup mode, which means it's already allowing read and write real time, I will stop the query. Okay, so I just wanted to demonstrate that the database was always running. Right now it's stopping the backup mode for the database. Okay, it's creating the clone volume from the snapshot that we took. I'm going to actually stop this query. We don't need any more. I'm going to show this instance. And if we connect to our production tenant once more, I should be able to see from the volumes that we are actually creating one clone volume. Let me go back 1 second to the slides, and let me try to explain the stages of the demo while this one is running on the background. So stage 1, pretty simple. Nothing running on the development environment. Production is fully loaded with load balancers and everything. Okay, for the stage number 2, which is the step that we just saw running, I created a cinder snapshot, all right? Actually, the script and Ansible took care of that for me. Based on the snapshot, I am cloning the volume, all right? And the very next step, if you guys are familiar with cinder transfer, basically what I am doing is allowing the transfer between my production tenant to my development tenant, all right? All of this is happening on the fly. Once we have the volume on the development tenant, the next and final step is pretty much to run a head orchestration template, which is going to stand up a database server. It's going to attach the volume. We're going to get that instance running, okay? Make sure that we roll forward to the latest consistent transaction. And this database is pretty much connected to the developer provider network. So the good thing about this demo is that pretty much all these steps, which are fully automated, can guarantee that the developers are always playing and making use of the very latest copy of the production database. Okay, and that was actually one of the requests of this particular financial institution that we had in Australia. For those of you who are interested, all these scripts are basically in my GitHub repository, so if you want to take a picture, just feel free to download them. I will put the latest ones later today after we finish with the demo. Let's go back and take a look to what's going on with our script, okay? So as we mentioned before, we created the clone volume. We deleted the snapshot. Let's take a look at our horizon once more. Let's go to the volume tab. Okay, so this one was created already. So the very next step, which hopefully will happen within the next few seconds, is the cinder transfer. After we got the cinder transfer, what I will do is I'm going to log out from this particular production tenant. We're going to go back to the development tenant, and then we will see how the head orchestration template kicks in and stand up the development environment. Let's start doing now, since this is being a bit slow today. All right, let's log in as developers. We can see from our script that we already got the volume transfer, and right now it's standing the heat stack. Okay, we're going to need a bit of patience. All right, here we are. Let's check the volumes. Remember last time, nothing under the sleeves. We have now the clone volume for the Oracle database. All right, and if everything is going smooth, we should be able to see that the stack is standing up. All right, it's starting to come up. Cool. So this is going to take maybe another minute. While this one is going, let me quickly show you how the production application looks like. I'm going back to my production tenant once more. Okay, let's take a look at the virtual IP that we have for the load balancer, rather the floating IP. Networking load balancers. Okay, and let's take a look at our application. Okay, if everything goes right, from the left side, we should be able to see our database. All these fields are pretty much coming from the Oracle database, okay? We are using a JDK driver, a Java driver, to connect to the database on the back end. And the stack was created successfully on our development side. So now what we need to do is pretty much wait for the volume to be attached. And we are going to connect to the database and pretty much make sure that we roll forward to the latest consistent transaction, which is what's going to happen at the moment. All right, guys, we are connecting. The volume is mounted. So this volume that we clone is the one that contains the control files, data files, redo logs, and also the archives. So that makes possible to roll forward to the last consistent transaction. Okay, the Oracle was already running, which is fine. So the database should be in mounted stage at this moment. We are just making sure that the consistency is there. And let's try to connect to our development database. Okay, the server is running. The instance is open, and let's check our schema. Okay, it seems to be there. Now, what we're going to do is let's check that we have exactly the same transactions as we have in production. And there you go. So this is pretty much an exact copy of the production database. Well, guys, I was told that we can take questions outside the session. This is all I have to show you for today. Thank you for coming.